Mother Earth. The Pleiadians, as architects of humanity, called Earth the living library. This is an example of tapping into the quantum nature of it all, the quantum field. Like a nurturing mother who cares for her children above all else, is too also alive. For what is commonly referred to as the electromagnetic grid is actually a consciousness field. Within this field, the species of Earth coexist in a singular conscious field of awareness, separated not by individual species, rather by a level of spiritual existence, resonating at a specific yet vast range of conscious quantum frequencies. The natives utilized this field on a daily basis as a system of quantum communication. They tapped into these collective fields, giving rise to practices like rain dances and communication with the elements. This wisdom, however, remains largely forgotten in modern times. Where did such wisdom come from? These so-called primitive peoples not only knew the resonant frequency of each individual earthly life form, but also understood how to manipulate their own frequency, finely tuning it to match what they desired to commune with. Here lies humanity's true potential, the ripple of a single collective consciousness telepathically communicating within this awareness field, residing in all life forms. These people were nothing close to primitive. Rather, they lived in tune with the quantum technology of nature, which exists fluidly all around us. It is found within a higher state of heart, mind, body, and soul. For instance, when an ancient sought out knowledge, they would simply seek a tree, whose roots span around the earth like the firing of synapses or the connection of brain cells. By tapping into this field of awareness and infinite wisdom, they gained insight. Meanwhile, modern humans remain blind and arrogant to the technology at our disposal, hidden within nature, as we remain trapped within the mind, guarded by the ego. As humans, we often fail to acknowledge or consider the existence of consciousness residing in other non-human forms. Instead, we live our lives through the lens of conditioning and the narrow vision of the ego. We fail to realize that what defines us as alive and living is equivalent to all other forms of life, emanating from the same single source of vibration, much like cells replicating from a singular cell. Rediscovering one's psychic abilities means communicating not through words or anything of this lower physical density, but rather using the language of existence, a channel of consciousness shared by all life. It's essential to understand that as members of humanity, we collectively hold the largest spark upon this earth, thus having a significant impact. This realization carries a divine responsibility. The principles we currently live by are far from the harmony and balance of the heart. We resonate more closely with that of a flea upon the back of a dog. Yet, humanity has the ability to transcend into roles more closely resembling the responsibility of white blood cells, which play a healing role within the body, thus aiding in the recovery of Earth and playing a crucial role in the equation of life upon her. From this, one discovers the most powerful currency within the entirety of the cosmos: love. This is not merely an emotional understanding or something found externally within another individual or hobby. Rather, it is the divine frequency of source, the channel of connection established by and from the heart. Today, humanity walks this earth completely unconscious, lacking an understanding of the divinity of balance acquired through the grand labor of love radiating from the wisdom of consciousness. If the crystalline grid is Mother Earth's communication system, then the Akashic records are the systems of memory, comprised of every conscious source of life past and present. Mother Gaia holds within these records the wisdom of the ancient past, an ethereal database of earthly existence. This ancient memory is composed of two sources of crystals, that of the Earth's crystalline grid, and of those physically seated in underground chambers like oil or water. Like quantum batteries, storing data in the form of etheric energy. Secondly, those crystals found within humans, embodied in Christ consciousness and the human crystalline light body. It is within these higher portions of DNA where the recollection of past lives arises, known as DNA memory. As for the crystals of Earth, Gaia has shown me these underground chambers, sacred caverns that are home to the Akashic records. It is through the recognition of the past that the foundations of the future, the new Earth, may be discovered. The time is upon us now. As the Earth traverses the Sun, so too the solar system traverses the galaxy, circling its vast circumference. Here we find the great blue-green mother in the beginnings of a grand transit, a 26,000-year-old cycle, roughly equating to one complete traverse of the equinoxes around the ecliptic plane, depicted by the Mayan calendar. As we all know, the legend of 2012, the end of the world as some believed. Rather, the end of an ancient prophecy and a time of great astrological changes, marked forth by the calendar like an astral checkpoint. For if humanity could make it past this metaphysical timeline without destroying ourselves, we may gracefully begin the journey into the Golden Age. The time is upon us absolute, as we now, in this time, are ever so slightly piercing through the veil, allowing a glimpse into a new, pristine and benevolent era which will manifest in time over future generations, known by astronomers and astrologers in its totality as the Great Year, bringing with it the rising and falling of consciousness. As we move out of our old galactic neighborhood and breach into the unknown, into higher energetic portions of the galaxy, we embark on a journey of transformation. As the consciousness of humanity slowly arises from its current lower energetic density into what we will soon discover as higher states of awareness, the first signs of human awakening begin to display themselves. For example, in the mainstream media, as governments slowly unveil the existence of extraterrestrial life, which in the past had remained highly classified as top-secret information. This act by world governments stems from their fears, as they believed such a discovery would cause upheaval within the human psyche, leading to panic formed from our ignorance in believing we have it all figured out, to the mind-shattering understanding of just how immature we are as a species, potentially collapsing our human societies as we know them, formed by the incredible possibility of life existing elsewhere, as pop culture has continuously portrayed these beings as hostile, invaders and destroyers of worlds. Ironically, it wasn't until the world was at war, a time which will forever echo throughout human history, the power of the atom, as humanity had unlocked the power of the stars. Only then, as per universal law, these beings intervened. As documented in closed government circles, these beings were and are incredibly concerned with nuclear weapons facilities. They have disarmed warheads of landlocked launch sites, and have even been filmed disrupting ICBM test launches, as we now had the potential to destroy not only ourselves but the world as a whole, and with it humanity's genetic galactic future. As these beings are those who constructed our DNA, those who first planted the seeds of humanity upon this earth, our ancestors from the future who arrived in Earth's ancient past. Therefore, it remains in their best interest that we evolve as a species, and that humanity finds a path to unite, as described in the Hopi prophecy of two timelines. One timeline flourishes indefinitely, exploring out and into the cosmos, while the other faces great upheaval and turmoil until it finally collapses in upon itself in self-destruction. However, with the help of our galactic brothers and sisters, as these beings forever hold and share our DNA, containing within it the codes of the human consciousness, they will forever contain that of the human psyche. From the perspective of their future ascended selves, by helping humanity, they, in turn, help themselves, transcending the lower energetic physical densities in which we, as humanity, currently reside. The Ancient Architect. I've always dreamt of discovering an ancient archaeological site. I am the first to lay eyes on it. For 100 centuries, it has remained the test of time, engineered to provoke, not as standing infrastructure, but for the concept in which it represents. I gaze upon these beautiful megastructures created by an ancient civilization of unknown origin. Peculiar, isn't it? As if these structures are alive and conscious, seemingly exuding such quantum energy as they know their purpose was and is that of magnificence. Curious to know more about these architectural and engineering marvels, who built them and why. Aligned with the Orion constellation, perfectly designed and precisely engineered, found within the calculation of its architecture, hidden within its sacred geometry, scientists and archaeologists have found a multitude of scientific truths, such as Earth's circumference and the speed of light, leaving behind conscious clues. These ancient megastructures call to me, as an instrument which pulls on the human consciousness. These structures, known today as the Great Pyramids of Giza, an ancient temple created to conduct and harness ethereal energy, also known as zero-point energy, the art of channeling electricity through the natural medium. For we will soon come to understand the ancients for who they truly were, far more advanced than we may like to believe. As the Latin translation of pyramid literally means fire in the middle, for these megastructures are far older than that of Egypt, the land of Kemet, as it was known back then, built by a long-forgotten civilization far more complex than we may imagine. The king's and queen's chambers housed refined metals that served as the anode, copper, and cathode, gold, components of a huge galvanic cell that generated and stored direct current electricity, evidence of which displays itself as burn marks and ash within the corridors of this ancient temple. Precisely placed atop an ancient aquifer for increased earth coupling, grounding such immense energy, initiating standing waves for the projection of electrical power, and telecommunications to remote locations. Designed with electrically conductive materials such as quartz, which line the precise geometrically shaped shafts containing high piezoelectric properties, like an electrical circuit running within this megastructure's core, channeling such electricity into what's known by more modern historians as a type of Ark of the Covenant. Not a final resting place for pharaohs, as the true burial ground for the kings and rulers of this civilization was, and is known as the Valley of the Kings, rather that of an electromagnetic crystalline chamber. These archaeological remains are that of an ancient quantum energy and telecommunications transmission and distribution system, using hydrogen as its communication system, the most abundant chemical element within the universe, able to harness the abundant source of zero-point energy, also known as Tesla waves, non-Hertzian energy electromagnetic non-Gunnel waves, and/or scalar waves. Energy waves which occupy the empty space between atoms, comprising 70% of the known universe. These energetic particles, or waves, are a non-local frequency which don't move in any particular direction, not bound by time nor space with the ability to pass through solid objects. Our ancient human DNA has the ability to observe and be transformed from the proper interaction of and with these waves, as they are programmable via human consciousness, seemingly having an intrinsic higher state of awareness, directed by one's intentions. When used in ancient metaphysical spiritual healing practices, they can positively change the state of living cells within the body, increasing the cell's ability to produce higher percentages of energy for the rest of the organism, or in this case, the human vessel. Used in times of ceremony and celebration as some sort of esoteric healing center. As it's read, the goddess Isis resurrected the god Osiris, coming into the new body of Horus. Some even believe divine souls from higher metaphysical realms were able to take on the body of many ancient pharaohs, existing as multiple humans, yet a single spirit. In specific ancient texts, Isis is described using the innate power of the pyramids to call forth the divine spirit, molding it into the body of man. Nikola Tesla and his Wardenclyffe Tower also utilized and sat atop an aquifer, utilizing the Earth's vast electromagnetic charge, as the waters below themselves resonate with the Earth's vibrational frequency. Tesla understood that there is nearly unlimited energy radiating from the Earth's crystalline grid or electromagnetic field, tapping into this quantum field grid of Mother Earth, or Gaia, as the ancients knew her, specifically that of the ionosphere and its highly charged energetic particles. If one were to follow the circumference of Giza around the globe, one will discover pyramids, 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 all along such alignment, constructed by civilizations whose cultures and societies allegedly never meld, as it's written in the ancient scrolls. The Pleiadian, Arcturian, Andromedan, Sirian, Orion, Lyran civilizations of the Galactic Federation, who terraformed Earth, our DNA, and created the advanced system of the Akash or living library, for they are the grand architects. From heaven to earth they came, delivering fifth-dimensional consciousness and technology to Mother Earth.